Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your Raw review. So, Extreme Rules is this Sunday. Okay, so we get Roman Reigns and Lashley starting off the show, and I just have to say about this pull-apart brawl. I don't know why, but I've seen Bailey and Sasha fighting in a more aggressive fashion. To start this off, Lashley tells Roman, call me out, please call me out. He calls him out. And the shots that they're trading, now I understand the other wrestlers came out and they're trying to pull them apart. It's a classic pull-apart brawl. This was not classic, but it's the classic style of pull-apart brawls. And they're trading shots. And another thing, what is the deal? Like, whenever there's a pull-apart brawl, it's either they send out the wrestlers from the locker room or they send out the referees. What happened to security? Remember when they used to send out security guards for Stone Cold and all that? I guess there's no security at the arenas. Come on. There's security in the crowd. And so, wrestlers every single time, they're so concerned that they're listening to Kurt Angle, oh, come out and stop this madness. But the shots that they're trading, they looked weak and ineffectual. Now, I want to see this Roman Reigns-Lashley match. But, you say you're somebody watching this for the first time and, you haven't watched in years, we'll say, to be a bit more realistic. And you're not very familiar with Lashley or Roman Reigns. You're going to take a look at these guys and say what pansies they look like. They look like, they're these big muscular guys, but they look really weak the way how they're trading shots in that fashion. So, I like the idea here, but the execution, and I didn't. I expected more out of the first time they were going to have Lashley and Roman get physical. And why did they wait exactly to the pay-per-view? The Raw right before the pay-per-view to have them get physical. This should have been before, instead of having all those stupid matches with Dawson and Wilder. Why did, the Revival, why didn't they have them, like after the second match, just start, slugging it out? But they waited all the way to this one, and I'm telling you, it wasn't that good. I've seen many, like women's brawls that looked more aggressive. And I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not trying to insult them and, like, call them girls and everything, but they did. They looked like girls. They were trading these little shots. Back in the day, you'd have these big brawls, and you get these full swung punches. Like, it looked really, really bad. Then we had Nia Jax and Natalya defeating Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. Alexa Bliss attacks Nia Jax with the kendo stick at the end. Can we stop? What am I talking? What am I talking about? Ronda Rousey was at the MSG show. Okay? On Saturday, was it? Yeah, Saturday. Saturday night at MSG here in New York. She was at MSG and she was in a match. And you're telling me that she's not at Raw. Now, I understand that house shows are like not canon and they don't count. It feels weird using the term canon with WWE because, they don't even follow up on their own shit. So it's like, I'm here talking about continuity. I'm here talking about, like, a storyline that usually canon involves characters of some sort. But yeah, I guess you could say that, house shows just don't follow the rules. They try out face turns, they try out heel turns, and then they use it on TV. But if the storyline is supposed to be that Ronda Rousey is supposed to be suspended, how is she competing at a house show? unless it's supposed to be she's suspended from Raw, but I'm pretty sure they just said she was suspended. Here I am breaking it down. I mean, this is like breaking down, cutting my toenails or something. Like, it's just something that doesn't need to be explained. I mean, I'm really talking about this, like, the technicalities of the suspension. It's like mind-numbing. It's killing brain cells as I even talk about it. But yet, there she is at the house show. Hey, guys, it's me, Ronda. And I'm sure she was smiling away and stuff. And and it was on their YouTube channel, before I forget to mention. It was on their goddamn YouTube channel. They're advertising it. They're advertising it and like, hey guys, we're not even following our own storylines. Check it out on YouTube. Are they mad? Kevin Owens wants to hide out in Angle's office because he says it's safe. Braun Strowman enters. They showed maybe one or two more segments of him just hanging out in Angle's office for comedic purposes. But that was all you saw of Strowman. He picked up a burrito, or whatever the hell that thing was, and he just walked out. You have these guys, like, weren't they like in the main event last week, and then you have them just in a short backstage segment that barely lasts 2 minutes. Like, who's the star on this show? Like, really, like, what? I don't get it. And, like, do we really want to see this match? We've already seen this match 5 times, 6 times, 7 times in a row. I'm totally sick of it. It's one of these things that just keeps going on. And it's not even like the crowd even cares. It's not like anybody cares. Strowman's got the money in the bank. Brock's not around. They've got absolutely nothing for him to do. So he's just torturing Kevin Owens for the hell of it. Just as a time filler. Mojo Rawley defeated No Way Jose. Mojo hit him with a reverse Alabama slam. He got the win. That was a nice move. It looked like a really dangerous move, by the way. But they've done this move before. I guess they're trying to make something of Mojo without really taking the effort to make any character for him. I don't get why the Rosebuds or the Conga line, whatever they're calling them nowadays, weren't there. But, they weren't there. And, I really don't get it. Like, they had this whole thing with Mojo. He wins the Battle Royal. They have him break up with Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder's nowhere to be found. They didn't even pay off the match on a pay-per-view or anything. It was like some pre-show match. Mojo goes into hiding for months. Then he just reappears like magic. Like, I don't know, guys. Like, it's the same thing. They can't find anything to do with Sheamus and Cesaro. Sheamus is already a 2-time champ. He's like a 3 or 4-time champ, really. And they're saying all of a sudden, we can't find anything for this guy. We put the title on him. We don't know what to do. And like Jack Swagger and the rest of them. Cesaro as well. Bobby Roode appeared later on in the night. We're going to talk about that. But the reason why these guys have been off TV, they can't figure out what to do with them. And the same thing goes for Elias. I mean, they don't know what to do with these. They have all the charisma in the world. They're the ones that have the look and everything, but they can't, Finn Balor's on TV every week. And they can't figure out what to do with a guy like Elias or Sheamus. Right, okay. So, we get Sasha and Bailey. Dr. Shelby's not there this week. It's a different counselor. She doesn't say a word. They just, like, argue with each other, and it just, like, ends in a few seconds, basically. Quick, painless, but Why even bother? I need to ask the question, like, why even bother? Why even show this little short, pathetic segment if they're not even going to do anything with it? What is the point? Why even, why even schedule it on the show? Please answer me that. Why go through this whole thing of anger management? Bailey is vicious, and here we're having a comedic segment, so is she going to be a cutting-edge heel, showing no mercy, breaking away from that happy-go-lucky routine? No, they're still just just acting silly and just, not even really putting any effort into this at all. I need to ask, like, what really is the point? Why even bother going through any of this if they're not even going to give it a genuine effort? Seth Rollins was backstage. He bumps into Jinder Mahal. This is like take number 83 of trying to make Seth Rollins seem funny. Jinder tells him, you shouldn't be burning it down. He does like the woosah thing. He has his eyes closed. Seth Rollins like creeps away. Okay, they did like the Homer Simpson routine. Hilarious, right? Funny. Seth Rollins started cutting a promo, which brings out Dolph Ziggler. Seth Rollins is talking now. It's all of a sudden an Iron Man match. So if you don't get enough Seth Rollins, here's 30 minutes of him. I mean, I think it's 30 minutes, right? Didn't they say that? I sure as hell know it's not 60 minutes, thank God. Now, they have the match with, they set up a match between Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. He talks about why does he follow along with Dolph Ziggler? Why is he at his side all the time? Does he have, like, some pictures of him? And he alludes to the fact that he had sex with sheep. Like, and this, like, pisses off Drew McIntyre. He, like, starts taking off his jacket. Like, you gotta really love, like, in this era, I understand that they're, like, alluding to the fact that he's having sex with sheep and stuff. That he's, like, a furry, or whatever you want to say, that he's into bestiality and all this crap, but like, why would people be insulted like that, angry that you want to beat somebody up? Ooh, like Drew McIntyre, that's what fires him up, being accused of bestiality by some guy that sounds like this. I would just tell him, like, Seth, shut up, man. Like, what are you even talking about? Sound like a moron up there. Trying to get a laugh out of the crowd. You're not a comedy character. Remember, my character is being a great wrestler, guys. Man! So, they're tonight was the night of trying to make, Seth Rollins into, Mr. Funny Man Rollins. Hey, I'm funny, guys! Really, he's hilarious, right? What a funny guy, man. I mean, hilarious. Bo Dallas defeated Matt Hardy because, he hasn't lost enough the past couple of weeks. Then Bray Wyatt gets in the ring and they start beating up on Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Ember Moon defeated Liv Morgan. Once again, no reason to pay attention to anyone's character here, just a match for the hell of it. Ember Moon is just somebody with colorful contacts and sticks out her tongue, and there you go. Here's a match. Does anyone care? Is anybody a Liv Morgan fan? Is anybody really even an Ember Moon fan? I don't really hear a big reaction when she comes out. Like, this is not one of these, like, Becky Lynch, or like Sasha Banks call-ups. There, it's like been nothing since she came there. No explanation. Like I said, she's a fierce warrior goddess or whatever they call her. The next week she's, hey, I'm talking like a valley girl, and all this, and like, let's go out after the show and party. So, I don't know who she is or what she stands for or what her goals are. She's not going for a title. She's she's just there. She's just there. Corbin and Elias defeated Bobby Roode and Finn Balor. So, these guys are back on the show. Elias, after his little things, playing guitar for the Riot Squad backstage, and Bobby Roode just not being there at all. Bobby Roode had showed up backstage with Finn Balor, and they agreed to be partners. And here's a match, and I mean, Corbin gets the pin on Bobby Roode. Now, I understand that we don't want to have Corbin lose here right before his big match, and okay, that's good that they avoided that. But Bobby Roode comes back after a bit of a hiatus from TV. And they make sure he's on the house show, by the way. But he loses, gets pinned by Corbin on his first show back. Okay, I get they don't know what to do with Bobby Roode. TNA made a template for Bobby Roode. It should be as simple as it gets for Bobby Roode. Just have him go out there, cut good promos, do what he does. He works good as a heel, probably better as a heel than anything. He won't be dancing in any conga lines. Just basically give Bobby the template. Go out there and do what you did in TNA. And chances are, he's over. He gets the crowd to do the glorious thing with him, but he is just the glorious thing. And this is what I've been saying for weeks and weeks. He is tied to this glorious thing, and this is the only thing since NXT that he has been known for. And beyond that, nothing really else. And we're going to talk about on SmackDown how they have Eric Young, where they have the mother of all characters right there. They've got a guy that's excellent at promos and everything and has the look, and just it's the same story with Bobby Roode. Just nothing. They're just so incompetent, they just can't figure it out. Drew McIntyre defeated Seth Rollins, because why not have Seth Rollins lose right before his match with Dolph Ziggler at the pay-per-view? I don't know. Let's just have him lose for the hell of it, I guess. Do they believe in momentum of any kind or anything? The wins and losses, they're just handed out on each show just because. Does anything have any purpose anymore? Or, are we just doing whatever? Is it basically like, I win one, you lose one, I'll lose 2 next week, you lose 3 next week? I don't know what they're going for here. They want Seth Rollins to be the man, apparently. It seems very, very much like they might have this guy beat Brock Lesnar because they're putting so much time and effort. There's more time devoted to Seth Rollins each week than anybody else. He's out there longer than Roman Reigns, so I don't even want to hear. As far as I'm concerned, Seth Rollins is being shoved down our throats. More than anybody else on this show. It's like, hey, they want Seth Rollins to be out there, and if you don't like him, too bad. He was wrestling in multiple matches sometimes on each show. I don't know. What they see in Rollins, why he's so great. He's a dangerous worker. He's really, really bad on the mic. He was better as a heel. He's a terrible face. And I understand it's the material given to him to a certain extent. But, it's everything, man. It's and I'm saying, man, it's the voice. It's all these factors combined into one Seth Rollins that makes him unbearable to watch. We have to watch these lengthy matches, and that's supposed to be all about Seth Rollins. He has these great classic matches. Oh, guys, you gotta like Seth Rollins because look how much he goes out there. He's the workhorse, right? Enough is enough with Rollins already. I'm about to just burn it down already with this fucking company. Burn it down, man. You're on fire tonight. Oh my God. Every single week with this guy. 20-minute matches, 30-minute matches. Now it's a 30-minute Iron Man match. And, like, they don't even have the decency to have the guy win right before the pay-per-view, or just, like, protect them in some fashion. Maybe with a disqualification of some sort. I mean, great, they made Drew look strong, but does he have a match at the pay-per-view? I don't think so. So this is your go-home show. And I understand that, like, some people say because it's on the network now, it's not really a pay-per-view. It's not really, because you're not, like, really paying for it individually. They're not going to put any effort into it anymore to, like, really hard sell the show. I get that, but they were even doing this back in 2012, 2013. I mean, they were putting absolutely no effort into the build. I mean, this has been going on for years, guys. This is not like a recent occurrence. It's not a recent epiphany. It's not a rut that they've fallen into just in recent years. They've been doing this now for forever. For like 6-7 years already, and there's no looking back on it. It's just like, whatever. We're just going to write a show in 10 minutes, 8 minutes, 7 minutes, however long this piece of shit takes to write. But it's a garbage show. I mean, you look at it, and there's just nothing to show for it. And the most over guy on the show, who is probably Braun Strowman, still, I'd like to think, he's only there for 2 minutes. He has, like, the defining moment last week, as sad as that sounds with the porta potty, but that was the thing that probably stuck out the most to most people. And there he is, just backstage, saying just a few words to Owens. They make a match, and they move on from him. I mean, you couldn't write a lousier show where nothing is advanced, nothing gets over. They made a few new matches. Okay, great, big deal. And, I don't know what to say about a show like this, guys. It's just garbage in every form and fashion. And Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey's there, just inducted into the Hall of Fame. And how does WWE respond? Well, she'll be at Extreme Rules. She's at the MSG show, by the way. We'll promote it on our website. We're promoting it on YouTube even. But you know what? Nah, we're just going to stick to our guns and not have her be there, because we're going to still follow the storyline, even though we don't have the decency to follow it on a promoted house show. Anyway, guys, this has been your YWC champ, and I'll see you for the SmackDown review. I'm signing out.